Welcome to the Morbid Hour live stream here in the Horror and Metal channel. Yeah, we're gonna have our top 10 worst horror sequels. So, so I'm not gonna include any sequels to movies that were already bad. Like if the original's bad, then the sequels are probably bad too. I can't think of too many.
Yeah.
Where like the original was bad and the sequels were good. So, and movies that like movie franchises that I'm already not a fan of. I'm also not going to include like Paranormal Activity and stuff like that. So I'm just not a fan of those. And I'm not going to include any of the Hellraiser sequels either because I think most of them are bad. First two are awesome. The first two are masterpieces. 3 and 4 is kind of dumb fun. They're stupid, but they're enjoyable. And then the rest are kind of like range from mediocre to just plain terrible. So, there's too many bad, so I'm just gonna not include any of those. And there's a lot of bad Amityville sequels as well. So, if most of the sequels are bad, then just it's hard to pick just one bad one. Death Metal Elitist is in the chat. How's it going, man?
What's up?
Welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet. My wife likes those movies. I've actually never really watched them. I've seen like parts of them, but like movies where they just film everything. It's like found footage and like they film themselves doing everything, brushing their teeth and eating breakfast. It's just like, come on. And then it's just jump scares and stuff. It's just not my cup of tea. I'm sure they're fine if you're into that sort of thing. It's just not my thing. So
I only ever watched the first one. I never watched any of the other.
Yeah, I've just seen parts of the first one, and that's pretty much it. So I haven't even watched them, so I can't really say.
Ooh, that bad, huh?
Don G. Corleone's in the chat. How's it going, Don? I agree with all those. Cabin Fever 2 was terrible.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't
Spring
include it.
Fever.
Yeah, it was awful. I think they made like a couple more. I know they made a remake too. They're all bad. Yeah, the original's pretty good. I enjoy it. I never saw Descent 2. Piranha DD was terrible. AVP Requiem wasn't too good. I didn't see any of the Rec movies. The Final Destination 4, The Final Destination, was definitely the weakest. See, I agree with all those. Yeah, I've never seen the August Underground movies.
No. I heard the new one's really good. It was supposed to be really good.
I'm just not into found footage. It's just, I don't know, just not appealing to me. All right, I guess I'll get started so we can do our little clockwise thing. All right, so Cloverfield was all right.
Yeah.
Chronicle could have been awesome if it wasn't like found footage, if it wasn't everything was like from a camera. That just irritated me. Other than that, it was cool, but I didn't like the whole camera.
Yeah.
And everything was from a film. That was so annoying. When I watched it, I was like, oh no, don't tell me the whole movie is going to be like this. And it was. I was just like, ugh. It could have been good if not for that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Exorcist 2 sucks. Yeah, we'll get there. All right, so number 10. These aren't really in any strict order, except for maybe the top 3 or so. They're all bad, so it doesn't really matter. Silent Night, Deadly Night 3. So all the Silent Night, Deadly Night sequels are pretty bad, except Part 2. Part 2 is enjoyably bad. It's so bad it's good. It's a guilty pleasure. It's terrible, but it's freaking hilarious. I love that movie.
Yeah.
It's so bad, but it's enjoyable. This one's just plain bad. Eric Freeman, who was the
fun
best
to watch. Yeah.
Right, yeah. Eric Freeman, who played Ricky in Part 2, was the best part of that movie. And this movie, they got Bill Moseley. It's like, okay, good choice. I love Bill Moseley, but he's silent. He never speaks. He's completely mute. And then his brain is exposed in a jar. Like, what? And he wears a hospital gown throughout the movie. He never even wears a Santa Claus outfit. Why is this a Silent Night, Deadly Night film? He has this psychic link to like some blind chick or something. It's just stupid. Yeah, part 2 is enjoyably bad. This one's just bad. It's just unwatchable. Part 4 and 5 weren't really that great either, but I think this is the worst of the bunch when it comes to the Silent Night, Deadly Night series. All of them should have been about Ricky wearing a Santa Claus suit and decking the hall with chunks of bodies. I don't know how they came up with this trash. Makes me think it was like already a movie that they had written and then they slapped the Silent Night, Deadly Night name on it and used the Ricky name. I don't know, but it sucks. It's crap.
I could see where they could have just slapped the name, used the guy's name, and that's the only thing that.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. Piece of crap. Drum Smash is in the chat. How's it going, Drum Smash?
What's up, man?
Hell yeah. We got a good live chat going so far.
My pick for the is going to be Jaws: The Revenge. The 4th film in the Jaws series is definitely the worst in my opinion. I mean, 3 is pretty bad too, but it's kind of watchable. It's kind of fun in a campy way, but this is not fun. It's just straight up bad. You know, the shark has a vendetta. It's roaring and stuff like a lion. Like, what the hell? It's bad.
Very bad. First up, one for me. I'm sure a lot of people will be surprised with my list because of some that I didn't include, but I'll get to that. But this one for me was more or less disappointing, and that's Phantasm Ravager. Because I love the Phantasm franchise, but I was so excited for this one, and it just, nothing wrong with fan films. It just felt like a bad fan film. Like the effects, like computer effects were horrible. Like Angus Scrimm was at kind of the end of his life, so it was just kind of sad and just like, and ultimately, I think this one just left more questions than anything. Like no resolve. It's just, oh great, more questions. But, so yeah, ultimately this one just pretty disappointing and definitely my least favorite of the franchise. So.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty much a letdown too. Yeah, we didn't get any answers, just more questions, and really bad CGI. Don Coscarelli, I don't even think directed that one, if I'm not mistaken.
It's the only one he didn't.
Yeah. I thought it was a letdown. Could have been better, especially considering how long we waited for it. But I wasn't really a big fan of Phantasm 3 either. But yeah, Ravager could have been a lot better. I was kind of let down by it too.
I like that they brought back Cat from the first movie, Cat Lester, the one that played the tall man as a woman or whatever.
Yeah.
And Rocky at the end, only at the end, kind of like at the end, but
from part 3, yeah. Reggie Bannister is always cool, and it's always fun to see him and A. Michael Baldwin team up. And yeah, Angus Scrimm probably was just like a little too old at that point. But Survival of the Dead. I watched that and Diary of the Dead like one time. I wasn't that crazy about any of the Dead movies after the original trilogy. Night, Dawn, and Day are just awesome, and then the rest of them, meh. Land of the Dead is okay, but I don't remember much about it. Survival of the Dead. I don't really remember. I don't remember finding it particularly memorable, but it must have been pretty underwhelming. So I barely remember.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was that bad, to be honest.
I don't think it'd be one of the worst. But yeah, like I said, I don't remember much about it. Daniel Bob's in the chat. How's it going, Daniel? Welcome.
It was kind of like a Hatfields versus McCoy's kind of thing. There was this group of survivors kind of fighting against the other group of survivors.
Oh yeah.
It was almost like a Walking Dead in a kind of way.
I'll have to rewatch that. Gory Tigers in the chat.
Welcome.
How's it going? What's up? And Thimbo Cinema's in the chat. How's it going?
Hey, what's going on?
I don't remember what the first zombie movie I watched was either. It probably was Night of the Living Dead. I'm pretty sure.
I think
it had
too.
to be the original.
I think me too. It probably was Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah, the original. Yeah, I think that was probably the first zombie movie I ever saw.
Mm.
All right, so anyway, go ahead.
I know for a fact the first zombie film I ever saw, and it was the 1990 Night of the Living Dead.
Oh, cool. All right, so my next pick, I agree with Sean. Jaws: The Revenge. Yeah, Jaws 3 in 3D had a cool premise, a shark attacking SeaWorld, basically, which is boring and has really bad effects. But this one's just stupid as hell. Yeah, sharks hold grudges now and take it personal, and they followed the family all the way to, what was it, like the Bahamas or something? Or I don't know. Where'd they go? Somewhere. They traveled somewhere and the shark follows them. It doesn't matter because I don't care. I hate this movie. The shark follows them. Why doesn't the Brody family stay the hell out of the water? I mean, they don't have good luck with sharks.
I know, right?
And I hate that the younger son, Sean, dies in this one. It sucks he had to die in such a crappy movie. Sharks take things personal. The shark looks terrible. The effects are crap. It roars, and it just looks awful. And then, like, at the end, he gets impaled. Then it explodes. Like, what?
Wow.
Oh, did I spoil the ending? Who cares? This movie sucks. It's the shark wanting revenge. The shark took things personal. It's that stupid. Oh my gosh.
Is Jaws 4 a Christmas movie?
I don't blame Roy Scheider for not wanting to come back for this piece of crap.
Yeah, he knew better.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's just awful. Oh, it's awful. It's so bad. I'll probably never watch it again. Yeah, it's just terrible.
Even Michael Caine couldn't save it.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty bad. Oh, what a bad movie. Yeah, sharks wanting revenge, and sharks hold grudges now, and they know to travel, to follow the family. Like, they know where they're going, and they know who they are and everything. That's amazing to me. Oh, that's the son of the guy who killed the other sharks. How? That's so stupid. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Wow. It's breathtakingly bad.
Oh yeah. My next pick is going to be Texas Chainsaw: The Next Generation, the fourth film in the series, or otherwise known as Return of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Whew. Horrible. Even when you got, some star power there with Renee Zellweger and Matthew McConaughey, it's like, I'll say Matthew McConaughey was pretty entertaining, but it's just like a really, really bad remake of the original,
Yeah.
And it was definitely a very different take on the Leatherface, but I didn't care much for the family other than Matthew McConaughey was interesting. I don't even know if I would say it was good, but it was interesting. But it's a terrible movie.
Agreed.
Yeah, I loathe that movie. I detest it. But we'll get there.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
Next up for me, I think I've established pretty well that I love bad horror movies because I find them entertaining. This one I could never get into, and that is Leprechaun in Space. It took me over a decade to finally finish this movie because every time I start it, I'd just be like, okay, I'm out. Like, it's just, and I love a lot of the Leprechaun movies, but this one I could never get through. Maybe it was just boring or something. I mean, there's a few memorable moments like the Leprechaun shooting out of that dude's junk, and you're just like, what the hell? Like the whole lightsaber fight, and I mean, Warwick Davis is still great, but God Almighty, I could never finish this crap movie. Ugh.
I kind of like that one better than the two Hood films,
Yeah.
Leprechaun in the Hood and Leprechaun Back to the Hood.
Back
But
to the Hood.
yeah, it's pretty bad. Yeah, I think it's better, Death Metal Elitist. But yeah, it's definitely nowhere near as fun as the first three. It's a little too stupid. I mean, come on, it's a leprechaun in space. I mean, I don't think
That's
anybody
like-
can make that good.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. I think that's the only time I can think of that there was a sequel within the sequels of the franchise, where was Leprechaun Back to the Hood 2 kind of, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like weird sequel to the within the sequel, you know.
Yeah.
There's actually a worse Leprechaun movie than that one, much worse, but we'll get there. But next for me is gonna be Wishmaster 3, Beyond the Gates of Hell. Now I love the first two. I love the first two Wishmaster movies because Andrew Devoff is just a blast to watch. He's so much fun. He's just so awesome. He just has such great presence and charisma. I love his voice. He's just hilarious and really just wicked. Just so much fun to watch. You know, they were like made for horror fans by horror fans. I mean, the first movie had Robert Englund and Kane Hodder and Tony Todd, and voiceover by Angus Scrimm. And Reggie Bannister was in it. Ted Raimi showed up. All kinds of horror Easter eggs and stuff. Then part 2 is really enjoyable too. But yeah, this one, Andrew Devoff doesn't return. It's Sean Connery's son, Jason Connery. He's got like blonde hair and a goatee, and he's acts nothing like Andrew Devoff. I think it's supposed to be a different Jin. But this one just feels really cheaply made, like a TV movie. The special effects are awful. The storyline's stupid. The characters are not interesting. The acting's bad. It's just nowhere near as enjoyable as the first two. It's just a huge step down. I thought that part 4, Wishmaster, The Prophecy Fulfilled, was definitely an improvement. I thought that was a big step up from this one. Not as good as the first two. I thought that one was a lot better. But this one's definitely the worst of the series. Whenever I'm a marathon, I'm always dreading watching this one because it's just pretty much just crap.
I agree.
It has a few decent moments, but overall, it's not very good. Yeah, once you go to the Hood, where else do you go? Yeah. They should just do all of them in the Hood. Wishmaster in the Hood, Jason in the Hood, Freddy in the Hood.
Jason in the Hood, that's hilarious.
Yeah. Chucky in the Hood.
Oh.
Michael Myers in the Hood. Halloween in the Hood.
Yeah, there you go. That should be the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's tough when you Andrew Divoff, carried those movies so good. Like, he was so great, like so charismatic, and can't replace him.
Yeah, he was the best part for sure. How about Jaws in the Hood?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jaws in the Hood. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
This time it's really, really personal. In the Hood.
This time it's gangsta.
And the shark has like bling bling. He's got like the grill. On his shark teeth.
Yeah.
Grill.
Gold teeth and shit.
Yeah.
He's got grills.
Gold teeth. Like a chain and a pimp hat.
Oh.
Who's next? Is it me or is it
You?
Next one I'd have to say is one I only watched once, and I'll probably never watch it again, and that's The Hills Have Eyes Part 2, Wes Craven's follow-up to the original. Yeah, so bad. Like, what was he thinking? Like, I don't. And there's like a dog involved, and there's like all the flashbacks to the first movie. Like,
The dog has a flashback.
yeah, even the dog has a flashback. Man.
Yeah. I will say that part absolutely killed me though. When the dog it gets serious and looks at the camera and flashback. Oh,
That movie is bad. It's really bad, but I'd rather watch that than the sequel to the remake, also called Hills Have Eyes 2.
Yeah.
The mercenaries like going to the desert, and there's all kinds of mutant cannibals this time, and yeah, that was stupid too. But yeah, the original, Hills Have Eyes Part 2. I don't know what Wes Craven was thinking because it's not very good at all.
yeah.
It's like was it something like he was under contract and he like had to make it or something, so he just like knocked it out real quick?
I think so, something like that. The remake was actually good. It's one of the few remakes I really enjoy.
Yeah.
I thought the sequel kind of sucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does feel like a made for TV movie. I don't remember much about Wrong Turn 6.
Yeah.
I don't think any of them were really that good after the first two. I didn't see the newest one either. Just called Wrong Turn, stupidly.
The 2 was alright. Henry Rollins and stuff.
Yeah, I like that one. Henry Rollins was awesome in that.
Next up for me, when it comes to this, I like the first one. The second one, it's okay. This one, when it came out, absolutely dumbfounded me. And that was, I'll always know what you did. Oh, why I own this garbage. Literally, it was just like, I think I saw it on Sci-Fi Channel when it came out or something. And, like, yeah, the second one in itself is kind of, but that one, I watched it 2 times since it came out. I'll never watch it again. I wish I could forget that last summer. God dang, I'm like, ugh. Hopefully the new one's better, though.
Yeah.
Even though
I'm looking forward to it.
Just called I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yeah.
Sequels do that when they're the same name as the original. Like they're trying to trick you into thinking it's not a sequel or something. Or they just couldn't think of a name. It's so stupid. Yeah, that movie's not very good. I watched it one time. I own it too. I bought it when it first came out. And yeah, the killer ends up being Ben Willis again. And he's like a total zombie this time. And
yeah,
the acting's really bad. Yeah, it's just total BS.
Ugh.
I mean, it went straight to video, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not very good.
This is very fun. We've done a lot of favorites, but it's kind of fun ripping on bad movies.
I know. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, Daniel, I think Killjoy is the only franchise I can think of where the sequels just got better and better. Part 1 sucked. Part 1 was trash. Part 2 wasn't very good either. And 3 was actually pretty fun. And then the 4th and 5th films are even more enjoyable. They just got better and better, which is very rare. Usually it's the other way around.
Yeah, I'm hoping for a good Hellhound rant.
Yeah.
Love hearing you go off on movies.
Oh, yeah, there's plenty of them here. So, all right, next for me is Exorcist 2, The Heretic. Yeah, you knew this.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Oh, this movie's bad. And like, it had all the right ingredients to be good. I mean, Linda Blair returned, Max von Sydow. You know, it could have been good. Like, it seemed like it would be, but then you watch it, it's just like, what the hell were they thinking? I think I even read somewhere where the director, John Borman, either hadn't seen the first one or he had seen it and wasn't a fan. So he probably wasn't the right choice to direct this.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, this movie's just bad. I think I've only been able to sit through the whole thing once, and that was enough. So, yeah, admittedly, I don't remember a whole lot about it. I just remember it really, really sucks. So, yeah, the less said about this piece of crap, the better, because it's awful.
Yeah.
Exorcist 3 was a huge step up. Exorcist 3 was really good, I thought. I think it's very underrated.
Yeah.
Part 2.
Did you say the director's name was John Borman?
Yes.
I guess his last name stuck because that movie was boring as hell.
Yeah. Well, maybe it was the right choice then, because it fits.
Why would you have someone that's not a fan of the first one make
I
the
know.
second one a
It's a
follow-up
recipe.
to one of the greatest horror movies of all time?
It's just a recipe for
And you're
disaster.
screwing around.
Ugh. Oh, it's so bad. I was dating this girl and she said, hey, let's watch Exorcist 2, The Heretic. And I was like, I think we should see other people.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. That never happened.
Nah, I'm good.
But it is that.
I'm
bad.
moving on.
Yeah. Yeah, those are all pretty bad.
Saw 7's the final chapter, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
Yeah, after a while, the twists just got more and more implausible, and like all the like people who turned out to be working for Jigsaw just got stupid.
It gets so convoluted. Yeah.
It's like, how many times can they do that? 1-2's in the chat. How's it going? Oh, you're not too late.
Oh, what's up?
All right, Sean. So what's your next one?
My next one is going to be from the Friday 13th franchise, Jason X.
Ooh.
And I know a lot of people like it for some reason. I don't understand why, but I suppose I could see how it's kind of so bad it's good kind of thing, but I just hate it. It's just not for me. It doesn't, not my cup of tea. It's just too stupid, you know. I can't handle it. Yeah, it's got a few good kills, but it's just like a bad Sci-Fi Channel movie. Like if you ever watched the Sci-Fi Channel original movies, it feels just like one. It's perfect for that. I hate when they do the Uber Jason, soup him up like he's the Terminator or something. I don't like Jason being in space. That's stupid. It's just like Jumps the Shark to me. Like, I can't.
They should do Jaws in space. And the tagline could be, instead of jumping the shark jumps you in space.
That'd be perfect.
I could see that.
Yeah. Yeah, I hated Jason X when I first saw it, and it is very, very stupid. But I kind of like how it's just, it knows what it is, and it doesn't like try to be anything else. It knows that it's just ridiculous, and it just kind of embraces it. And I think it is kind of enjoyable, just like a cheesy, like guilty pleasure. So bad it's good way. It's definitely bad. It's definitely like the worst of the series, but I don't know, I just think it's kind of fun. It is really, really stupid though. It's just really bad acting and really over the top, cringeworthy moments. Yeah, Cyborg, Uber Jason stuff. I mean, it's Jason in space. I mean, you can't take it seriously. It's just ridiculous concept done in a ridiculous way. It's just kind of grown.
And it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, it's bad, but it's just kind of grown on me over the years because, just it doesn't try to be anything other than just a ridiculous, stupid, cheesy movie. Yeah, it's pretty much all the Children of the Corn sequels are bad.
Yeah.
We're enjoying part 2 somewhat, and I think part 3 was okay, but most of them aren't very good. That's why I didn't include. What is a franchise where most of the sequels are bad? I usually did include, except for one. There's one franchise I had to put on here because the sequels are just legendarily bad. But we'll get there. But yeah, Jason X is definitely a bad movie for sure.
Yeah.
I don't really enjoy watching it that much.
This one, on the other hand, is not fun to watch and is absolutely abysmal, and that is Return to Sleepaway. Holy shit.
Yes.
all right, the first one is a cult classic. The other two sequels are fun. Am I supposed to feel bad for this douchebag kid fucking with people going, your ass stinks? I'm like, like everything. Like, okay, some of the kills are creative, like the bunk bed spike kill. That was okay. But like the fact that I guess this is supposed to be a true sequel to the original because you get original characters back and all that. But holy good God, this movie is garbage. Oh, like I'd rather watch Sleepaway Camp 4: The Survivor over this.
That's only 20 minutes of actual movie.
Yeah, they didn't finish it. They just threw a bunch of footage together. I probably would have watched that too. Yeah, Return of the Sleepaway Camp is awful. But yeah, the kid is bullied, and like I guess you're supposed to feel sympathy for him, but he's a bully too. He's always bullying other kids, so I don't understand. Like if anything, it's enjoyable to see him get his comeuppance. And I was excited because the original director Robert Hiltzik was going to return, and Felissa Rose returned too. I was like, oh boy. Then I saw it. I was like, what the hell is this? This is crap.
What a waste.
Gosh. Yeah, the first one's a slasher cult classic. The second one's enjoyably dumb. It's really fun, but it's stupid. And the third one kind of just rehashes the second one, but it's okay. But Return of the Sleepaway Camp is awful. Just awful.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I probably should have put that on my list. I did not think of that.
All right, so my next one is this had to be on here. Halloween Resurrection.
It has to be.
Yeah, I actually kind of like the way it starts out. I kind of like that Michael actually kills Laurie and finally fulfills his lifelong mission. I thought that was cool. And when I saw that, I was like, man, where's the movie going to go from here? But I hated how he like handed his knife to that other inmate and it was like he's going to quit killing. Like, come on, like he's going to retire after he kills his sister. That's why I never liked the sister thing because of stuff like that. But then the rest of it's just awful. It's like this MTV style like hip hop type movie with everybody's in the Myers house with cameras and stuff, and Busta Rhymes beats the crap out of Michael Myers. I don't want to see that using kung fu and cheesy one-liners. Why would I want to see that? Michael Myers should have slit his throat, and then that'd be the end of it. Yeah, this movie's just crap. Screw that movie. Halloween Ends, that's something of the weaker ones, but I feel like that one's more of a mixed bag. I'd rather watch that than Halloween Resurrection. But I do have a lot of problems with it, though. There's a lot of problems with Halloween Ends.
It has its moments,
Yeah.
It's not complete garbage.
Right.
Resurrection is complete garbage.
Yeah. Yeah, it is very 2002, and 2002 sucked. So,
I know Halloween Ends is hated by a lot. I love it. I don't care. I know it's supposed to be the concluding chapter of this story, but I'm tired of Laurie versus Michael over and over and over. So seeing something different for once, I was like, cool. I can get behind it. I don't care. I mean, if this franchise anyway is a choose your own adventure, 20 different timelines, they're just going to make it another one again in a few years. It won't matter.
Yeah. I do like the ending. I do like that they had a very definitive ending. There's a lot of things I like about Halloween Ends.
I agree. I love the ending, actually. It's probably my favorite thing about it.
Yeah.
It's like, the victims have their revenge, seeing them get thrown into the...
I still think it's kind of a step down from the previous two, though, because I really liked both of them a lot.
I feel like they all had their issues, but they all had some high points, too,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my next one is going to be one that Hellhound mentioned, Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 3. You better watch out.
Better
Yeah,
not watch is what it should say.
You better not
Better not
watch
watch
it.
this.
The fishbowl thing on his head with his brain.
It's ridiculous.
I know it's a shame because I love Bill Moseley. Like, he could have really been a great villain in the film. Instead, what are they doing? You know, he doesn't even talk. Like, come on, what a waste.
Terrible.
It's definitely the worst in the franchise. Like you said, Part 2 is a lot of fun because it's so bad, but it's fun in a campy kind of way. But this is just not fun. It's just boring and
Not at all.
terrible.
The chore to sit through.
Yeah,
Mike
it really
Pope's in
is.
the chat. How's it going, Mike?
What's going on?
Yeah, I agree. Jump Smash 2018 was Halloween 2018 was awesome, except for the stupid title. The Halloween Kills I thought was great too. Oh yeah, 3 from Hell wasn't too good. It's definitely the only watched it once. I need to watch it again. It definitely wasn't as good as the first 2.
Yeah.
I still haven't seen that.
It was kind of pointless and unnecessary, but it was okay.
Yeah.
I understand when people don't like ends. I totally get it. It's one of those movies that I'm not really going to defend because I think that all the criticisms are valid. But yeah, I don't know. I just think it's kind of a mixed bag. It's kind of more mediocre to me than anything. There's some things I really hate about it, but there's some things I do kind of enjoy about it.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I'm middle of the road for me.
Yeah, I like it better than Resurrection and Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 and probably even 5 and 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd rather watch 5 and 6.
I could see that. Yeah, it could have been done a lot better. I agree. Brody Stevenson's in the chat. How's it going, Brody? Welcome.
What's up?
But next up for me, I'm right there with everyone. Silent Night, Deadly Night 3.
All right.
Wow. That movie was extremely boring. And, you know, at the end of the second, when Ricky gets shot in the chest like a few times, why the hell is his brain in a movie?
I never understood that either.
I know, right?
The fact that he doesn't speak in the whole movie, but then at the end, he's just there to wish you a Merry Christmas. And you're like,
Happy New Year.
It just felt like the movie slapped you in the face and called you a dumbass or something like movie.
I don't know what they were thinking.
Like you guys said, like having Bill Moseley in this movie and not a single thing and just be mute and have a connection with a blind girl, it is bizarre. Like,
It really is.
And I think like part 4 is pretty, 5 is pretty good, but 3, that's the one I skip all the time.
Yeah, boring is the worst film a thing can be. Also annoying too. I think if a movie's annoying, that could sometimes be even worse than being boring.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, hey babe, my wife is here.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, sweetheart. Glad you can make it. All right, is it my turn?
Yep.
All right, so next for me is going to be a tie. So my next choice is going to be the Howling sequels. Which one you ask? All of them.
All of them.
Howling 2, your sister's a werewolf, or maybe Howling 2, your agent is an idiot.
Pick your poison.
Howling 3, the Wolfarooz. Howling 4, the original Nightmare.
Mm.
Howling 5, the Rebirth. And Howling 6, the Freaks. Yeah, and then there's also Howling New Moon Rising. And then somewhat recently, they made Howling Reborn. Why they made yet another sequel, I have no idea. Yeah, they're all bad. I don't know which one's the worst. Probably Howling 3, because it's just too stupid. Yeah, there's like, they're marsupials and like they're werewolves with pouches. And there's a part where these werewolves are disguised as nuns and like nobody even notices.
Yeah.
And, like they're working on this movie and really bad acting, really bad special effects. The first movie is a masterpiece. It's one of the best werewolf movies ever. The original Howling is awesome. The sequels suck. Christopher Lee is in part 2, and even he wasn't enough to save that. That's pretty bad. I really like Bruce Payne. He's in part 6. He couldn't save that one either. I remember thinking one of them was kind of okay. I think it might have been either 4 or 5. Yeah, there's one that was like in a castle, and I thought that one was all right, but still not very good at all. But mostly, they all just pretty much suck. Like I said, the first one's a classic. The sequels are garbage. I don't know which one's the worst. If you're going to tell me, oh, part 2 is worse than part 3 because this, that, sure. I don't know. I think they all suck. So
At least you got that great credit scene at the end of part 2 with Sybil Danning.
Yeah, she does like 16 times. I love that song. That is an awesome song.
It's a cool song, yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's one of the best songs I've ever heard. That's the best part of the movie is that awesome freaking song. Too bad it's not in a better movie. Yeah. Hellhound, we need more comic books. I agree. Can never have too many comic books.
I felt bad for Christopher Lee. Like, dude.
I know.
Taking a paycheck, huh?
Pretty bad, or even he couldn't save it. You never seen the Howling movies? Just watch the first one and skip all the rest because they're crap. Yes, American Werewolf in Paris is a bad sequel. It has its moments, but the werewolves look terrible. They're CGI, and they look more like were-lions. Yeah, that's not a good movie either. But it's probably better than most of the Howling sequels. I don't know.
I will say my personal love for Howling 3 is purely nostalgia because I quoted that movie so much with like the werewolf with the long face. And like, God damn, what the hell happened to you? Just everything about that one in particular, I've always just laughed at. To me, that one's a comedy.
Yeah, it's weird, man. It's wacky.
These belong in the garbage.
My next one.
The first one.
Yeah.
I was excited to see it. They had this big series. I was like, oh, cool. And then I watched them all. I was like, oh, man. Woo.
It's rough.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say the next one for me would be The Exorcist 2, The Heretic. Yes, it's infamously bad. Everybody knows how bad it is. Mm-hmm. like Hellhound saying, you had all the right ingredients. You had a great cast. You had Linda Blair returning, Max von Sydow returning. You got James Earl Jones. You got great actors, man. Richard Burton. Man, what the hell were they thinking? Like, I will say, you know, the reason why it is one of the worst sequels ever is just because the original film's so great. That's why. What the hell were you thinking? I don't understand. You know, you couldn't do. This is the best you could do with a masterpiece. Ugh, it's infuriating. Yeah, I will say there are worse sequels. I know most people say it's the worst ever, but I don't agree with that. I think it is watchable, and I think the tone is kind of creepy at times, and I like the score by Ennio Morricone, but yeah, the story is just horrible. The acting is cringy, you know, even Linda Blair is pretty cringy at times. Yeah. The makeup is terrible when it doesn't look anywhere near as good as the original. Oh, yeah, it's bad. I'm not trying to defend it, but it has a couple redeeming qualities. That's why I didn't put it at number 1.
Yeah, the score is pretty good, and yeah, they're definitely worse sequels. I think that one's just like so disappointing, just because the first one was such a masterpiece. So it just made it all the more disappointing that it wasn't, wasn't great. Like it.
That's the thing, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, it's definitely not as bad as some of these other ones. Yeah, I'd say I agree. Creepshow 3 and Exorcist 2 are worse than Silent Night, Deadly Night 3. Well, I don't know. Silent Night, Deadly Night 3 is pretty bad. Mummy's Curse, yeah, it's one of the weaker ones, but it's not one of the. I wouldn't say it's one of the worst sequels. Yes, Next Generation sucks. Definitely.
Yeah, someone said that earlier. What's the worst Universal sequel from them?
I don't think any of them are terrible.
I
think Ghost of Frankenstein, Horror of Dracula, Mummy's Curse. I think those are kind of the weaker ones, but I don't think they're bad. I don't think it really has a terrible entry.
Yeah.
It just has one.
You mean House of Dracula, right? Not Horror of Dracula.
Did I say Horror of Dracula?
Up in here.
Did I say Horror of Dracula? Oh yeah, I definitely meant to say House of Dracula. Yeah, we're talking about the Universal movie. Yeah, House of Dracula. No, not Horror of Dracula. That movie's awesome. The Hammer horror. Yeah, House of Dracula from Universal. It's one of the weaker ones, but I don't think it's terrible. Yeah, Hostel 3 wasn't very good. I watched it one time. It came on TV. I didn't think it was very good. I'm not really a big fan of that series in the first place. Yeah, I would avoid it like the plague.
Next up for me, another one that was just insanely disappointing, and it's on my list because I am a big fan of the first two. I grew up with them and waited like 17 years for garbage. Jeepers Creepers 3. Once again, a lot of people were like, "Oh, let's get a part 3," and there was talks of it for years. Just for this not even to really be a part 3, it takes place between the first and the second. So
1.5.
Yeah. And just everything they do in this movie is terrible. The effects are god awful. Once again, they try to make this whole thing of, "Oh, this person has the previous hand of the creeper and he touched it and you could see what he was." But I guess we'll never know because it failed miserably. Once again, just another garbage movie. I would have even put Jeepers Creepers Reborn, but since that's more of a reboot, that movie's god awful too.
Yeah.
I didn't bother with that one.
Yeah.
I was excited that Gina Phillips was returning as Trish, but there's just like a cameo. She was barely in at all.
Yeah, I would never recommend anyone to watch Jeepers Creepers Reborn. You know it's bad when the character throws a star at the creeper's eyes and says, "How do you like those peepers, bitch?" Oh, hell no.
Wait, the creeper talks?
No, the girl who threw it at his eyes.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I was reading and listening at the same time.
It'd probably been entertaining if he talked.
Yeah, he actually did talk in a deleted scene in the first one. He was the cat lady. He was like, "She don't smell too good." Hilarious. They should have kept that. I thought it was kind of creepy. It made him more sentient and kind of made him creepier.
It just felt so much cheaper too. It just feels like a straight to video,
Yeah.
Yeah, in chapter 2 could have been better. I agree.
I never saw it because so many people say, it was bad, and then I'm not gonna sit through 3 hours of bad. I'm sorry. I believe you. If everybody says the same thing, I believe you. I'm not gonna waste 3 hours of my life,
Yeah, Bronson. Yeah, I'll probably talk about Trick or Treat again sometime. Maybe in October. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'll get to it. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't even watched the Paranormal Activities. I'm sure that part 7 probably is the worst one. I didn't even know they made that many.
There's that many of them? Holy.
Apparently. Linda Blair. We have a really active live chat today. I'm trying to keep up with that and at the same time.
Well, there's
Yeah, I didn't
plenty of other movies. She looks good. Watch one of those.
She was really good in Hell Night. Yeah,
Yeah.
I never saw Reborn, so I don't know.
Watch Savage Streets or something.
Yeah.
All right, so is it my turn?
Yep.
Let's see. Yeah, Leprechaun 4 in space is pretty bad. Leprechaun, the two Hood movies I thought were pretty bad, but the one that is really, really awful, total garbage, is Leprechaun Origins. Because, first of all, it's supposed to be a prequel, but it has nothing to do with the other ones. Warwick Davis was the best part in those movies. He was hilarious. You can tell he's having fun with the role. That fun's really infectious. This one, how is it a prequel? It's not even. It doesn't even look like a leprechaun. He doesn't talk. He's nothing like a leprechaun in the other movies. Looks more like a goblin. It has nothing to do with the others. I like that they are horror comedies. This one tries to be serious and scary.
Yeah.
It's just stupid. It shouldn't even be part of the same series. It has nothing to do with the others. How is it a prequel? Why is it the origin? It doesn't tell an origin. It's just some goblin-looking thing that doesn't talk, has nothing in common with the rest of the Leprechaun series. It should not have been considered part of it. It should have been called something else because it's crap. Yeah, Warwick Davis is the best part. The fact that there were horror comedies, they were fun, they were funny. This is just painful to watch. Ugh.
And my next one's one I love to bash the shit out of, Halloween Resurrection.
Yes.
I hate this movie. It's the only one I hate out of the series. Even there's others I don't like, but this one just gets me so mad, like, because it's just such product. It's just like something they threw out there, to cash in on the success of, H2O and the series in general, like the Halloween name, I feel like they put no effort into it. They just hashed out this MTV style crap. And it's just embarrassing to the Halloween series. Absolute garbage. To think that I actually had a fun time when I went to go see it, and it was really just because the atmosphere, the theater I was in, people were into it and were screaming and and I'm like, oh, this is pretty good. But then I watched it when I came out on DVD, and I'm like, good God, what was I thinking?
Yeah, it's crap. Yeah, Daniel, the worst Puppet Master is probably Curse of Puppet Master, because the movie doesn't really connect well with the others. It's really rushed. The ending is very abrupt. But then Puppet Master The Legacy, it wasn't very good either, because it's just stock footage. It's just archive footage. All the other movies, they tried to connect them, but it doesn't really work. And then the Axis trilogy, there was like 3 of those. I didn't think those were very good. Then there's a Littlest Reich, which didn't really connect to the other ones. It was kind of like a remake. Really, after the first 5, I wouldn't say they're that good. And then, of course, Puppet Master versus Demonic Toys wasn't that good either. Pretty stupid. Yeah, Drum Smash. You don't like Wrong Turn 2? I like that one. I think it's enjoyable. I thought Henry Rollins was a badass. I like seeing him taking out all the inbred cannibal hillbillies. It's just it's cool. I mean, it probably is a bad movie, yeah, but I thought it was enjoyable. I don't even bother with the remake of Silent Night. I know they're making another remake now. Yay.
Yeah, I heard that. Isn't it with the guy from Halloween Ends or whatever?
Yeah, Corey Cunningham's going to be big.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I guess he's just collecting horror icons like Infinity Stones or something.
Yeah, the Howling movies, I think the only one that's really connected to the original is part 2, because they mentioned Karen White, Dee Wallace's character in the first one. Her brother's in it. And they even show a clip of her transforming into a werewolf, but it looks nothing like the end of the first one. It looks really bad. Really terrible looking mask. So, yeah, that one's loosely connected. I don't think the other ones are, but I don't really care enough to watch them again and find out, because they're really, really bad.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't really care for Jeepers Creepers 2 that much either. It's not bad per se, but I didn't really care about any of the characters. In the first movie, I actually cared about Trish and Derry. They were really charismatic. And in part 2, what's his name? The guy from RoboCop.
I forget. It's been a long time since I've seen it. I just remember them being on the bus and stuff. Like
Yeah, I didn't care about any of the
him
characters. I
attacking the
thought they were all
bus.
annoying. Yeah, Ray Wise, the guy he played one of the bad guys in RoboCop. I liked his character in Jeepers Creepers too. Yeah, he wanted revenge for the death of his son, and he's like tracking down the creeper. I thought he was cool, but yeah, all the students on the bus, I didn't really care about any of them. I didn't think that they were really annoying.
Yeah. You know, me personally, I think they should have went with the storyline of the dad hunting the creeper rather than just the kids on the bus the whole time.
Yeah,
they
weren't interesting. As far as Psycho, I didn't think Psycho 4 was that good because it, for one thing, it doesn't connect to 2 and 3 very well. Yeah, he's out of the asylum somehow, and I guess he's like married to a woman named Connie, I guess, who worked at the asylum. I guess she helped him get out somehow, but then the way that, like, I don't know, his mother, Mrs. Bates, is supposed to be an old woman, but they just had to have a younger, attractive woman just because they always have to do that. And they made it to where she had to wear a wig, like an old lady wig. Like, what now? Come on. That's supposed to be a real hair. She's supposed to be an old woman and all the other ones. So, yeah, Psycho 4 just took way too many liberties and too many deviations. And the way that when he poisoned his mom and her lover, like, that was just, it was done in a very over-top, really bizarre way. It's like, this is nothing like I expected his backstory to be like. It's an interesting idea to have kind of like a prequel, like told in flashbacks with
it's
Anthony
almost
Perkins.
like prequel / sequel.
Right, yeah, with Norman Bates telling his backstory. As Anthony Perkins is always great to watch. But I thought Psycho 4, that almost made my list, but I don't think it's like terrible, but I was pretty disappointed in like all the changes they made.
I thought it's the weakest of the films, but I didn't mind. I thought it was okay though. It's not that bad.
Yeah, it's not really bad. It's the weakest for sure. I didn't like all the deviations. Yeah, Jennifer Aniston was great in Leprechaun 1. A lot of actors and actresses started out in horror, which I think is cool.
Yeah, it's always fun when you see that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Tales of the Dark Side, the movie. Yeah, it's got to be. I consider the True Creep Show 3, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, the remake. Yeah, the Psycho remake was pointless.
Yeah.
But next up for me is this absolute classic, Texas Chainsaw. To me, the only entertaining thing about this movie is Matthew McConaughey. You take him out, burn this movie. I mean, it's all, I'm like one of them like so bad movies for a lot of people. And I can see that because of how utterly bizarre this is, like with the Illuminati and just, like just seeing. And honestly, I swear, Renee Zellweger's character Jenny has got to be the worst final girl ever.
That's a good point.
He could have walked out of that house anytime the rest of the family were just arguing about some shit.
I know, right?
She had a lot of chances to escape.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Leatherface, say, "You set the fuck down." He's just okay. I'll do it. It's just, the fact that the family are not cannibals, they're sitting there eating pizza, having a good old time. The acting is horrendous. Like when she's beating that one girl with the stick, and it's just like love taps, and she's like, "Oh, stop it!" Ooh. Yeah. It's so bad. It's fantastic how bad it is.
Can't argue with that.
And I know Leatherface has the mind of a child. Like in the first one, he whines a lot too. This one was just like over whining, like every second. He's just,
I like that song at the end.
Yeah.
New Moon at Dawn or Blue Moon at Dawn or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a cool song, but yeah, awful movie. But we'll more on that later. Oh yeah, Jack Frost 2 is really bad, but it's hilarious. As is the first one. Those movies are enjoyably bad. Yes, I agree, Brody. Definitely a reason for that. All right, is it my turn?
Yep.
All right, next for me, of course, is going to be Creepshow 3. This movie is garbage. I love the first two. You know, I love how Stephen King and George A. Romero combined their genius to bring us those two movies. I love the EC Comics feel, like Tales from the Crypt and Vault of Horror. They had that feel. This one has nothing to do with that. It doesn't have the comic book style feel at all. And like, I love the animated segments in the first two. Here, it feels like a really bad, like Newgrounds Flash animation that somebody put together on like MS Paint or something. The stories are awful. The acting's bad. Like the ideas for the stories are really uncreative and very unimaginative. Bad special effects, really annoying characters. The only thing that was kind of a cool idea was that all the stories happen like in the same reality and they kind of cross over a little bit. Like you'll see a character from one story like in another story. I thought that was kind of a cool idea. That's about it. Aside from that, it's just crap. It's just awful. And like it felt like they were making it up as they went along. Like some of the stories didn't even make sense. They're just really, really stupid. Yeah, I love Creepshow 1 and 2. Creepshow 3 sucks. This movie is awful. I hate it. Can't believe I wasted my money on that piece of crap. Yeah, Tales from the Dark Side, the movie, I consider the true Creepshow 3, even if it's not really, but you know, it's better than that.
It's a good movie.
Yeah.
You know, one thing I want to say, just because it's up in conversation, one of the first videos I ever saw of yours, Hellhound, was, I believe it was your Creepshow 3 review where you showed it and then you just started singing Beverly Hillbillies. Now, oh.
Yeah, it's that bad. It doesn't even deserve its own review. It doesn't even deserve a video. So yeah, I'd sing the theme to Beverly Hillbillies instead. Doesn't even deserve its own review. Man, that was years ago. I forgot all about that. Yeah, well, Brody, Tales of the Dark Side of the movie isn't an official Creepshow 3, but it's way better than the real Creepshow 3. It should have been Creepshow 3 because Tales of the Dark Side, the series, was originally going to be a Creepshow series, but now we have one of those as well, which is cool. It's a pretty good show. I haven't seen the whole thing, but the Mutil. Oh yeah, I heard that the Mutilator got a sequel. That's really weird.
I know. I haven't seen it yet, though.
Me neither. It's weird they made a sequel after all these years. Not too many people even know about the original The Mutilator.
Yeah.
It's funny that I got a sequel.
My next one might be a little bit controversial because I know a lot of people like it, but Hellraiser Bloodlines. So I think the reason why I think it's so bad is because, it killed the theatrical run of the series, So after this, they all went straight to DVD. And to me, that's because Bloodlines is so bad, in my opinion. Yeah, I feel like, taking a series to space like so many of the others did,
Yeah.
Pinhead in space.
Yeah.
And in the future.
That's what some of the things they tried to do with the story were kind of interesting, but overall, I think it was just really boring. And I almost walked out on it after I fell asleep, I just thought it was so boring. And I did. I was very, very, very disappointed. So that's why I have it high on the list, because it's a huge letdown for me. And yeah, I think it almost killed the series and forced it to go straight to DVDs. Now, you don't expect a straight to DVD movie to be good. That's why I put it higher than the other ones, because they're going to be crap,
Mm-hmm.
Bloodlines, I expect it to be good. I actually didn't mind Inferno that much. I thought it was okay. It's an okay straight to DVD as far as straight to DVD sequels go. I think it was the first one that they didn't plan on it being a sequel. Like they just threw it together, threw
Threw the
Pinhead in
Hellraiser
there.
name on it and threw Pinhead in there. That's what they do with all the ones
Yeah.
after Bloodline, pretty much. Yeah, I don't think Bloodlines is the worst sequel. It's not good. It's pretty bad, but had a few good ideas. I like that it shows the guy who created the puzzle box and like the flashbacks and stuff, and how he I guess he and then his descendants battle Pinhead over the centuries or whatever. At least it had a coherent story. Like, I don't like how the other ones were like psychological mind warps where you can't tell what's a dream and what's a reality. I hate movies like that. Unless it's Phantasm, I despise movies like that. That's what most of the Hellraiser movies after Bloodline are. And they just slapped the Hellraiser name on them and threw Pinhead in there. It has nothing to do with the rest of the series. Doesn't have the box or the other Cenobites or anything. They're not even Hellraiser movies. They just have Pinhead show up and, so at least Bloodline did have a coherent story. But yeah, like you said, it killed the theatrical run, and it definitely was very disappointing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd have to agree. It's not too good.
Next up for me anyway, this is without a doubt the worst one in the series, and just overall disappointing. Hellraiser Revelations.
That was pretty bad.
Yeah.
The thing that sucks is that this one, well, for one, they only made this movie so they could keep the rights to the name Hellraiser. The fact that this one is more of Hellraiser vibe than like almost all of those straight to DVD sequels, but they just messed it up so bad. Like, obviously, elephant in the room, it's not Doug Bradley. Like,
Right.
The guy they got to play Pinhead was just laughably bad.
He was a chubby Pinhead.
Yeah. I remember a majority of this movie was like a found footage type thing. Yeah. This is just not a good movie at all. Yeah. And, if it had Doug Bradley, I'm sure it would have been at least a hair better.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was definitely the worst Pinhead as well, because the guy they got Hellraiser Judgment, he did a pretty good job. The one from the Hellraiser remake, that was pretty good. This one, though, ooh.
Yeah, I actually met the guy who played Pinhead in Hellraiser Judgment. Paul Taylor, I think is his name. And Judgment wasn't very good either. But yeah, I think Paul Taylor was a better Pinhead than the guy in Revelations. And Heather Langenkamp was in Judgment as well.
Yeah.
But it wasn't too good either. I don't think any of the Hellraiser movies are really great, other than the first two. The first two are awesome. They're classics. After that, 3 is enjoyably bad, just kind of stupid, but it's fun. And
it's fun, yeah.
Yeah. I think Bloodline can be enjoyed on some levels, but I agree with all the criticisms that you gave it for sure. It definitely does have a lot going against it. And then after that, some of them are okay. Andy Dufresne is in the chat. How's it going, Andy? Shawshank. Yes, Tale of the Dark Side. Yeah, the show and the movie are both great. Absolutely. There's 8 Evil Bong movies now. Oh, man, I can't even watch the first one. Yeah, some of Full Moon stuff's just a little too stupid. Ginger Dead Man and Evil Bong. And
that's an example, like you were saying, why would you even put it? Because none of them are good. Yeah,
yeah, exactly.
So, are we
That's
on
your real name? That's pretty cool.
Are we on our last 2 now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, because the last 2 I don't even own, so I was kind of like, wait, which one are we on? So I don't even own the next 2.
So it's my turn, right? Because you did Hellraiser Revelation. All right, my number 2 is one that has already been mentioned. Return to Sleepaway Camp. Now, like I said earlier, yeah, the original director of the first movie, Robert Hiltzik, returned after it was Michael Simpson, I think was the guy's name, who directed 2 and 3. And so I remember this was first coming out. It was like a couple years when it was in production. I was like, oh, cool, Robert Hiltzik's returning, and Felissa Rose is going to be in it. But spoiler alert, she's like in disguise as this cop the whole time, this male cop, and like talks with like a electronic voice box. We don't even really get to see Felissa Rose, and she has like a fake nose, so we don't really get to see her. She's in this awful disguise, and then you already know that's it's going to be her, and she's going to be the killer again. Yeah, the main guy, we're supposed to feel bad for him because he's being bullied, but he's a bully too, and a really really mean, nasty one. He's just a despicable person. He's terrible. And yeah, it's just a vile, disgusting, repulsive movie. Yeah, I don't think it's enjoyable at all. And I think that doesn't the Ricky character from the first one come back too? Her cousin, Jonathan Tiersten. I think he's in it briefly. Although it would be kind of like a combination of the first movie and the 2 and 3, where we had Felissa Rose just going on a killing spree as Angela, and instead of that stupid twist. Yeah, I was just. This movie's just vile and just repulsive and just revolting in all the wrong ways. Yeah, just toss it in the garbage. That's where it belongs. Yeah, it sucks too because I was really excited for it when it was first coming out, but no, it's crap.
Absolutely.
Getting ready for a road trip. Cool. I just got back from a road trip. Me and my wife and daughter went to the beach. Yeah, check out the first 2 Sleepaway Cat movies for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I even like the third one. I think it's pretty underrated, honestly.
Yeah, it's good. It's just kind of a rehash of part 2, but it's still enjoyable. Way better than this piece of crap, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So my number 2 is going to be, it's like, Hellhound mentioned it before. All the sequels are terrible. The Howling. and it's like, it's almost difficult to pick what's the worst one, because they're so god awful, and it infuriates me because I'm a huge fan of the original movie. So to me, once you get to the second one, it's like, come on, they couldn't come up with something better than that. You had Elizabeth Brooks' character, Marcia Quist. You could have based the sequel around her. She survived at the end.
Yeah,
that's a no-brainer.
I always thought that too. Yeah, that's what they should have done.
And at least part 2's watchable because it's almost kind of fun to watch because it's so bad. You got Christopher Lee in there, collecting a paycheck. You got Sybil Danning. At least she's nice to look at. Werewolf sex going on, But the one that just infuriates me the most, I think, is The Freaks Part 6. That's the one where I was just like, come on, what the hell is this? What am I watching right now?
Even Bruce Payne couldn't save it.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And I like him.
Yeah, vampire in there and shit. It's like, what the? Circus sideshow. Like, the effects are horrible.
Terrible.
There's no budget, like, whatsoever. But yeah, they're all terrible. All absolutely horrible. Even the second one's watchable, but it's still bad.
Yeah.
An embarrassment they're all an embarrassment to the original, and they kind of drag the original down, unfortunately. I wish they just didn't exist. I really wish they didn't exist.
Me too.
It's a stain on the original.
Yeah.
It really is.
Especially with part 2, like, from my understanding behind the scenes, they messed up the costumes, so that's why the werewolves don't even really look like werewolves.
They look horrible.
Yeah.
When you have a movie with such great practical effects, and then you go from that to this, oh man.
Yeah, the transformation effects look like crap. Yeah, stick with the first one, skip all the sequels because they're garbage.
I remember when the Howling Reborn came out, and it kind of felt like they tried to make it Twilight or something. It was just
yeah. Can't believe they made a new one after all those years. Like, really?
Yeah.
My gosh, they'll probably remake the first one soon. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited to see what you guys' next pick are, because I know there's one huge one that neither one of you mentioned yet.
I might surprise people. I don't know. But next up for me, once again, I used to own this movie. Don't know what happened to it. Honestly, don't even care. And that's Creepshow 3. Man, I loved the first two Creepshow movies so much. And I remember getting part 3 on DVD when it came out, and I was just like, what the hell is this? Like, you had one where a girl had a remote or something, and she transformed into like a bunny, and it was like, you had one with like a radio that talked to someone. So stupid. Like, yeah, when everyone says Tales from the Dark Side of the movie is the real Creepshow, I no arguments there. I'm like, yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I've only seen Creepshow 3 like 2 times. I'll never own it again. Even if I see it at a Goodwill store for 4 cents, I'm not.
I would pay not to watch it myself.
Yeah,
like she has a remote. Yeah, she has like a remote, and like it makes her look like she's like melting, and then she turns into a rabbit, and it was like they're making up as they went along. And then there's like one where there's like a demonic radio telling them to do stuff. And then there's one that's a straight up ripoff of the Hitchhiker segment from Creepshow 2, except it's like a homeless guy who ate a hot dog that fell on the ground or something. And then the only story that was kind of a cool idea was like, I guess she's like a prostitute, and this guy hires her, and she goes to his house, and she notices that there aren't any pictures of him. And it turns out he's like a demon or a vampire or something. Like, it could have been executed better, but that was kind of a cool idea, even though they went about it all wrong. It's totally sucked. But and again, like I said, the idea where all of them took place in the same reality and they kind of crossed over a little bit, I thought that was a cool concept that wasn't in the first two. But overall, terrible. One of the worst sequels I've ever seen. It's just absolute garbage. I will never, ever watch it again. Creepshow 3 sucks. Yeah, Tales of the Dark Side of the Movie is the true Creepshow theory. And then we have the Creepshow TV series too, which is also pretty good.
Yeah, it is fun.
Kevin Yeager directed part 3. Yeah, I didn't know that. Oh, like, yeah, I guess they're making a new Strangers trilogy. Yeah, chapter 1. Then there's going to be a chapter 2 and chapter 3 as well. I didn't even see the second one, Pray at Night or whatever. I only seen the first one.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty good. I liked it.
I just saw trailer chapter 2 because it came out yesterday.
Yeah.
Total Halloween 2 vibes, 100%.
Yeah.
What is it?
The Strangers chapter 2.
Oh,
I mean, what is it called?
Strangers chapter 2.
Oh, yeah. I guess there's going to be a chapter 3. How would you guys rate Creepshow 3 out of 5 stars? 0.
Creepshow 3, never heard of
it. Yeah. Negative 1 billion. It's crap. All right, is it my turn for my number 1 pick?
Yep.
I've got a few honorable mentions. Yeah, Freddy's Dead. I was originally going to put this on the list, but I do think that it could kind of be enjoyed in a so bad as good guilty pleasure way. It's not a good movie. It really isn't. It's my least favorite of the series. I'd rather watch this than the remake, though. The remake sucked. I hate that movie. But I did think that the flashbacks were pretty cool. They could have done like a cool like prequel type story. They were actually taken kind of seriously, but the rest of the movie is just way too goofy. Like Freddy's just a campy comedic clown. He's more like a villain from the 60s Batman TV show with Adam West than he is a horror villain. Yeah, don't forget the power glove and like all kinds of silly, ridiculously over the top campy moments. It's just I don't mind horror comedies. I like funny horror movies. I don't really care for silly ones. This one's too silly. But like I said, yeah, it has its moments, and I guess the 3D finale at the end was kind of fun. Like I said, there's a few things. So there's a few things that keep it off of my top 10 worst sequel list, but it's still not very good. But I respect when people do enjoy it, like on like a so bad it's a good way. Also, Omen 4, The Awakening, which I think is just pointless. It just kind of felt like a rehash of the first movie. It's just a female instead of a male. There's not really any other difference other than that. It just feels really unnecessary. It has a very cheap TV movie quality to it. It was just pointless. Like the third movie ended the story. I don't know why that would need to be made. Critters 3. I love the first two Critters movies. I think they're a lot of fun. Part 4 was kind of a step up from this one, even though it's really depressing. But this movie is just stupid. Yeah, Critters 3, yeah, it's not good.
It's got DiCaprio in it.
Yeah, it was his first movie. Yeah. Him and Billy Zane both were in the Critters series, both in Titanic. Also, Ghoulies 4. I like how Peter Leopis from the first movie comes back, but it doesn't have the original puppet ghoulies. It's just little people in costumes, and they barely have anything to do with the story. Like, you could take them out of the movie and it wouldn't make a difference. Yeah, there's a total other weird thing going on. Like, Peter Leopis has like an evil version of himself, and there's this chick from another dimension who wears black leather and has a gun, and just weird. It's just really unpleasant. I think the first three Ghoulies movies are stupid as hell, but they're a lot of fun. This one's just bad and just boring.
Yeah.
Then there's Return of the Living Dead 4 and 5. I love the first movie. Yeah, the first movie is one of my favorite movies ever made. These are crap. I don't know which one's worse. I don't really care. They both suck. They have nothing to do with the series. All right, my number one choice is, of course, Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation.
Number one, huh? Wow.
Yeah. I despise this movie. I loathe it. I detest it. It's horrible. Leatherface is a total wimp in this one. He's not intimidating at all. He just cries and screams for the whole movie. I guess Matthew McConaughey is kind of enjoyable, like in a campy way. It's way too over the top, way too campy. I hate horror movies where the characters don't react realistically to the situation. Like, there's one where this girl's like crawling, and then like the villain chick says, "Don't crawl off now," and she's like, "I won't." And then she's like, "I can't breathe." It's like, "Well, if I poke a hole, will you stop complaining?" Just really stupid moments like that. And then they're killing these people and complaining about the pizza getting cold. Yeah, they're not cannibals this time. They have like something to do with the Illuminati, and they might even be linked with aliens. What the hell? And like, why do they even have a meat hook? Yeah, I can't believe that Kim Hinkle, who worked on the original Tobe Hooper, directed this. I guess we know like where the real talent was in that, because my gosh, like, and this is supposed to be the true sequel, just like all the other ones are. They all ignore each other and start new continuity, but it feels like more like a remake, like Sean said, a really bad. Yeah, this movie's horrible. It's just total garbage. I hated it when I first saw it. I still hate it today. It's not enjoyable on any level. It's garbage. And I really can't understand when some people say they hate part 2, but they like this one. They probably hate part 2 because it's funny and comedic. Okay, but then why do you like this one if you hate part 2? That makes no sense. This one's just silly and stupid and just ridiculous.
Yeah.
F that.
F that movie.
Yeah, I despise it. I saw the first Terrifier. Sorry, hold on. I'm just trying to put up with the chat. Yeah, I saw the first Terrifier. Creepshow 3 sucks. Shoot. My laptop's giving me problems. Yeah, I love Kane Hodder. He's always great. Spit on Your Grave, Deja Vu was not very good at all. No, I like the original. And I thought the remake was pretty good, and the 2 sequels to the remake were weird. Spit on Your Grave, Deja Vu was not good at all. Oh, part 4, Bloodlines. Yeah. Yeah, I like the flashbacks too in Freddy's Dead. That was done pretty well.
Speaking of Freddy's Dead, that's my number one pick. I hate Freddy's Dead. It's the only one in the series that I freaking despise. And I didn't care much for 5 either, but I thought that was kind of the one that led up to this because, Freddy became such a joke by that point, now he's just a complete farce. I just feel like this movie is a complete parody of what the original was almost,
Pretty much.
It's just sad how far the series had fallen by that point, I just can't stand it. I think it's just way too goofy. Got the cheesy, hey, put on your 3D glasses. Here's the 3D scene. Like everything, it's just so goofy. Oh, let's trip out and all the goofy one-liners. It's just Freddy's never anywhere close to scary at any point, The only thing I kind of like what they said in the chat was a little bit of the backstory on Freddy. I thought they had something there, but they didn't capitalize on it, with Alice Cooper being the father and abusive father, At least there was something there, but Jesus Christ, when he got him with the Wizard of Oz house spinning around and he's on the flying around the broomstick. Oh my God. I can't stand it. It's embarrassing. So bad. Oh God.
Yes, I have seen Gutterballs. I actually talked to the director of that movie, Rob Nicholson, I think was his name. Yeah, I talked to him, and he sent me a copy in the mail, actually, like when it first came out. Yeah, it's a really bizarre movie. I actually lost my copy, sadly. It was just a disc, like in a sleeve. I can't find it. I wish I could.
It's a wild one.
Yeah, it's really bizarre. Really, really outrageous. I wish I could find my copy.
It's super brutal, but it's also super cheesy, like.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird, like a weird.
Very weird.
It's so campy, so goofy, but then it's like so brutal, and it's nasty, brutal.
Yeah.
That rape scene is pretty horrific,
Oh yeah, it's crazy. Oh, Ryan Nicholson. Yeah, Ryan Nicholson. Yeah, I talked to Ryan Nicholson, and he sent me a copy himself. That was years ago when it first came out. Yeah, Ryan Nicholson. My bad. Oh, rest in peace. Oh, did he die? I didn't know that. That sucks. Shoot, I really like to find my copy because he sent it to me directly. He mailed it to me. Oh, he did die. Yeah, back in 2019. Oh, that sucks.
Full Moon 1973 sent me a copy. The YouTuber.
Boy, nice.
Like, yeah, check this out.
Yeah, I saw that movie a long time ago, Daniel. I remember very little about it. Yeah, Deja Vu sucked. That was awful. But yeah, I agree with you, Sean. I agree with your criticisms of Freddy's Dead for sure. I think I included that in my original. Like, I made a top 10 worst sequels video several years ago, and I think that was probably on my list when I did that one.
And all the stupid cameos like Roseanne and freaking Johnny Depp and like.
Yeah. Well, number one for me, even though it's number one, these were never in really any order. But it's going to be Exorcist 2, The Heretic. Just.
Oh, isn't it number one, huh?
Yeah, this movie really was one of the first sequels that ever disappointed me because, the first one and that one feel like two completely different worlds. Like everything was done better in the first one. Even so much the demonic voice of Reagan in the first one. Creepy, effective. You see it in the second one, it's just like, shave mine. Oh, my. Voice. And to me, ultimately, it was just boring. Like I think we all love a good slow burn horror movie atmosphere. Yeah. This was just legitimately boring. Like, like them showing what happened in the room where, what's his name? Father Marin died and how he died. Like, to me, I liked it better when you didn't know how he died.
I know. I think we can pretty much assume how it went. You don't have to.
That was pointless.
Yeah, I mean, this movie definitely, like you said, Sean, there's still some good creepy scenes in it, like the beginning where the girl's on fire, possessed, and it's like, like that's pretty good. That was good. But yeah, it's just I'm having a hard time. Like that movie with Leslie Nielsen, Repossessed, is a better Exorcist.
Yeah. It's funny. Linda Blair was here in it.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess that'd be my number one. But any of these could really take the pick, I guess.
Yeah, they're all crap. Even my dishonorable mentions.
Yeah.
I know some people would look at my list and say, no Halloween, no Jason, no Freddy, no Chucky, no what? I don't know what to tell you. I guess I'm just one of them horror fans, easy to please or something, because a lot of those bad movies I still like.
Same here.
No bad Halloweens?
I will admit I have a dumb fun time with Resurrection sometimes. It is so stupid, but like it's kind of funny. Like it
I
almost
hold Halloween to a very high standard, so that's why like when there's a bad Jason movie, it doesn't really bother me as much because like those movies weren't Shakespeare to begin with. But like Halloween, I just hold to a very high standard. So when they screw Michael Myers up by making him cry or making him controlled by a cult and have a thorn tattoo and then or have his ass kicked by Busta Rhymes or or just when they're having him be from a white trash family and he's bullied and has an abusive stepdad, the most cliche, most by the numbers, most generic backstory, and then he even talks and looks like a hobo with a beard. When they do stuff like that to him, it pisses me off. So
give him mommy issues.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. But whereas Jason, yeah, he's turned into a demonic worm who possesses people. He's turned into a cyborg in space. But like those movies are always, I mean, the first one's great, but I love the Jason movies. But a lot of them were kind of stupid in the first place, so I don't really hold those to as high of a standard.
Yeah, it's just to me, Halloween Resurrection feels like what Scary Movie is to Scream. It just feels like a parody at some point.
Yeah,
very much so.
Trick or treat, motherfucker.
Looking a little crispy there, Mikey. Oh, gosh.
Some chicken fried motherfucker.
All right, any other awful horror sequels you guys want to talk about? No, I've never seen the Paperboy. I've never even heard of it. I played the Nintendo game though, if that counts. That's a fun game. No, I didn't know there's a horror movie called The Paperboy.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Hand Rocks the Cradle. Yeah, I've heard of that.
Just looking at my shelf, I guess Witchboard 3 was a kind of a letdown. I like the first one a lot.
Oh yeah.
Okay, third one.
I forgot they even made a part 3.
I guess Prom Night 4. I guess that was kind of bad. I still like Prom Night 2 and 3 and 1, but 4.
Yeah, it had nothing to do with the rest. I didn't think 3 was really all that great either. I think the first 2 are great. I love the first 2.
Oh yeah, Lost Boys 2.
Yeah.
Like 3, but 2 I don't like very much.
The Horror Man and Hervik Nijbergen did positive spins on Creepshow 3 and Exorcist 2. Oh, interesting. Teach their own.
Yeah.
There's one I almost put on there, but, that might upset you guys. Fright Night 2.
Oh.
I hate Fright Night 2. I know, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, man.
I don't think it's anywhere near one of the worst. It's not anywhere near.
It is.
It's not anywhere near as good as the first movie, but I like it a lot. I don't think it's bad at all. So we're compared to the first movie.
I hate it.
So we're being clear. You're talking about this Fright Night 2, right?
Yeah, that movie sucks. That movie sucks.
That's not even like worth mentioning. But
it's like a remake of a remake. That movie's crap.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Troll 2. Yeah, Troll 2. Yeah, like movies that are really obvious, like Troll 2.
But yeah, it's like the first one's bad, you know.
Yeah, it's not that Deadly Night 2, which I enjoy. Yeah, like
Yeah.
yeah, Troll 2 is also enjoyably bad, but
yeah, it's kind of fun to watch.
Yeah, you can just laugh at how stupid it is. Yeah,
it's like watching. It's like watching one of them old like Ed Wood movies, like the Planet 9 from Outer Space or whatever.
Yeah. I like watching that too. It's hilarious to see Bela Lugosi turn into a completely different actor.
Yeah. I know, and then he just goes to the rest of the movie like this.
Yeah. Yeah. They'll never notice. I almost put Stepfather 3 on the list. I almost put that, but I don't know. It's not
I don't even remember that one.
Yeah, Terry O'Quinn didn't return. He was in the first 2. He wasn't in part 3. It's not good, but it'd be an honorable mention. I love Seed of Chucky. I don't care what anybody says. That movie's hilarious. It never said that it was anything but a horror comedy, and that's exactly what it is. And it's a damn funny one. Most of the jokes are hilarious. It's made for horror fans. It's Easter eggs. I love Seed of Chucky. It is the weakest for sure, but I still love it.
Yeah.
Oh, the Predator sucked. I saw that at the theater. I couldn't stand it. I didn't think Predators was really that good either, to be honest. Not as bad as the Predator, but I haven't seen the newest ones. I haven't seen Prey or you say there's 2 new ones. One of them is animated.
You could easily put Requiem in there, you know.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I didn't like how weak Myers was in Halloween Ends because he was so unstoppable in Halloween Kills. He was like a Terminator, and then it ends. He got overpowered pretty easily.
Old man Myers.
Yeah.
Broken down old man.
All right, you guys ready to talk about some Cannibal Corpse?
All right.
All right, so top 5 Cannibal Corpse albums. My number 5 is going to be The Bleeding.
Oh, nice.
This was their 4th album and their last to feature vocalist Chris Barnes, before he was replaced by George Fisher. I'm in the minority where I actually prefer Fisher. I think he mastered his craft a little. I think he just has a kind of a wider range and he has a little more control. But Chris Barnes was awesome on their first 4 albums, no doubt. His low gutturals were just phenomenal. I think Bill Steer from Carcass is the only person I can think of that has really awesome gutturals. Chris Barnes sounded great in the first 4 albums, and he actually wrote the lyrics too, and he was really, very, really sick, really gruesome stuff. He has a great album. It was also the first to feature Rob Barrett, who replaced Bob Rousset, who was kicked out shortly after Tomb of the Mutilated, the previous album. It's a good album. Staring Through the Eyes of the Dead, Effed with a Knife, Stripped, Raped, and Strangled, Pickaxe Murders, the title track. A few more titles I probably shouldn't even say because I don't know. I don't know if YouTube would like it if I said some of these titles out loud. Whatever, it's a great album. Yeah, really gory, graphic lyrics, and just some great riffs and solos by Rob Barrett and Jack Owen. Alex Webster is my favorite death metal bassist of all time. His bass lines are phenomenal. Great album. The Bleeding.
The funny thing is, you can understand what he's saying in this one for some reason. Like,
he's a lot. His vocals are
clear. Like he made his vocals more like
decipherable.
Clear. Yeah, decipherable.
It's a lot more easier to distinguish what he says in this one. He's a lot more. Rick Rosenthal directed Resurrection, which is crazy because he did such a good job with Halloween too.
It's sad, it's a shame.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Cannibal Holocaust is a sick movie. I'll never watch that again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pinocchio's Revenge is really bad. Chris Barnes. Yeah, I agree. He was great. He was great in the first 4 albums. I think I'm not too big of a fan of his stuff with 6 Feet Under. I think he's just gotten worse and worse. His vocals are just really deteriorated. But he was good in the first 2, Haunted and Warpath, I think. But he was great in Cannibal Corpse for sure. I like him almost just as much as George Fisher. It's very close.
I wouldn't
It
say
was more
that,
extreme. His lyrics were, I think, more.
I'd say a lot of people lean
What's that?
towards Corpse Grinder these days just because of Chris Barnes stuff with 6 Feet Under, probably.
Oh.
And he's done
When it
so
comes
many
to
more
Cannibal, I feel like
albums.
always. Yeah, when it comes to Cannibal, I feel like people always prefer Barnes. Which I can see. I can see why. I'm not going to, dispute that. I think he was great on their first 4, but I like how George Fisher, like Chris Barnes, his like screeches were more like a, and like George Fisher is more like a. He has more control. Like he has a wider range to me. Like he can do the low growls and the screams. But Chris Barnes' gutturals were pretty much, unmatchable, just unparalleled. Yeah. He played out strong points for sure, and he was more of a pioneer of that vocal style. I think he probably inspired and influenced George Fisher.
So my number 5 would be The Wretched Spawn for me. I really like that album. It's one of my favorites with Corpse Grinder, Decency Defy, Frantic Disembowelment. The Wretched Spawn is one of my favorite songs.
Yeah.
Blunt Force Castration. It's a good album, man.
Yeah. I will say that this is one of the hard things about Cannibal Corpse is that I feel like they don't have really.
They don't really.
So having a top 5 is just like swap me anytime. But first up for me is going to be the album Kill from 2006.
Nice.
I just love that album. It starts off with a punch with The Time to Kill Is Now. It's just and it's just heavy. Songs like Make Them Suffer and Murder Worship, Death Walking Terror. Love this album. This was one of the first Cannibal Corpse albums I heard, of course, besides the Barnes stuff. And I just loved it. Loved the album cover, loved the vibe, the brutality. So, Kill.
Yeah, I thought Kill was pretty good. Yeah, I don't think they have a bad album. Is that what you were just saying a minute ago? Yeah, I agree. I don't think they have a bad album. Oh, cool.
Never heard of them. Yes, we did. We put it on the list. That's a must.
Oh, yeah, that has to be on there.
That has to be on there.
Oh, yeah. Is it my turn?
Yep.
Sorry, I'm just trying to get caught up with. All right, so yeah, my number 4 is going to be The Wretched Spawn. I agree with Sean. I really, really like this album. I really like the songs that were written by Jack Owen. This was his last album with the band, sadly, which sucks because I really liked him. I really liked when it was him and Pat O'Brien playing guitar. They made an awesome twin axe attack. Now they're both out of the band. Jack Owen left and was replaced with Rob Barrett, who was on The Bleeding and Vile. And then he was replaced by Pat O'Brien. And then Jack Owen was replaced by Rob Barrett, who came back. And then who's still in the band. And then Pat O'Brien was recently replaced with Eric Rutan. But anyway, Wretched Spawn's a great album. Lots of great tracks. Severed Head Stoning, Psychotic Precision, Decency Defied, Frank Disembowelment. The title track is awesome. The Wretched Spawn. Spawn of the Wretched Spawn. Yeah, that's an awesome song. Festering in the Crypt is an awesome song. Kind of a slow, really creepy track with, of course, lyrics about, a decomposing body. Nothing Left to Mutilate is my favorite song on the album. I really like that melody. I really like that beat. It's so catchy, so awesome. I love George Fisher's vocals on this album. And Pat O'Brien and Jacko and their riffs and solos are top notch. Alec Webster's bass playing is on point as always. Paul Mazurkwitz's drumming is immaculate. Just a great album. This was actually my favorite for quite a while. I listened to this one ad nauseum. I just listened to this album like crazy. I absolutely love it. Wretched Spawn is just awesome. It's a classic. Freaking amazing.
Oh, awesome cover too.
Yes.
Really sick.
Yeah. So cool. Yeah. I think those are the zombies from the Butcher to Birth cover. They're helping, this demonic creature give birth to his wretched spawn, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty cool stuff.
So my number 4 is going to be Kill.
Yeah, nice.
Love that album. It's my favorite with George Fisher. It's just like, man, the production value is phenomenal on that album. Just so loud in your face, like, bam, I love, 5 nails through the neck. What an awesome, like, that breakdown in the middle. It's so brutal. Make Them Suffer, of course. That's an all-time classic. Time to Die. Time to Kill is now. Yeah, that's a great way to start it off. Yeah,
it's a great,
excellent album. I love the produced by Eric Rutan, right?
Yep. And now he's playing guitar for the band.
Yeah.
Replaced Pat O'Brien.
He did a great job on the production, man.
Yeah, Death Walking Terror was my ringtone for a while.
Nice.
Yeah, I agree. Death Metal Elitist. Jack Owen was great with Deicide, and I think now he's with 6 Feet Under, I believe.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, so now he's back with Chris Barnes.
Mm.
I can't wait for Grand Theft Auto 6. I got to buy a PS5 just for that game, and then I also need it so I can start getting 4K Blu-rays.
I can't afford that shit.
Resident Evil 9, that'll be cool too. Yeah.
What?
I recommend them, Brody.
So next up for me is the classic, the debut, Eating Back Life. Love this album. I love that, this is still in the early stages of death metal, so there's still that kind of just heavier thrash influence to it with a little bit more edge.
Yeah.
But Breaded Humans, Edible Autopsy, Scattered Remains, Splattered Brains, Full of Maggots. Yeah, this album is just awesome. Love the artwork, love the brutality of it, and I just love that classic death metal sound.
Absolutely.
So many great there, punches you.
It's a great start. It's a great debut, yeah.
Definitely.
That's the album that got me into death metal. It was the first death metal album I ever bought. It got me into Cannibal Corpse, and it got me into death metal.
Hell yeah.
Shermalos Scott is in the chat. How's it going?
Up.
Yeah, I don't know why Scream Factory put Exorcist 2 and Creepshow 3 on Blu-ray. They also put a collector's edition of Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation. Why?
Doesn't deserve it.
No. Yeah, Violence Unimagined was pretty good. I liked it.
Definitely.
I like all their albums, honestly. It's kind of hard to pick a top 5 because I think they're all pretty good. Good to hear. Nice. All right, is it my turn?
Yep.
All right, next for me is going to be Gore Obsessed.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's a great album. Savage Butchery, Hatchet to the Head, Pit of Zombies, my favorite song on the album. If I've ever seen them live, I really hope they play Pit of Zombies. That song's awesome. Compelled to Lacerate, Mutation of the Cadaver, When Death Replaces Life. That's another awesome song. Like with Wretched Spot, I really like the songs that were written by Jack Owen. Chris Barnes wrote pretty much all the lyrics when he was in the band. George Fisher doesn't write the lyrics. Usually it's either Alex or Paul. or sometimes Rob. And when Jack was in the band, he wrote lyrics too. I really like the songs he wrote, the lyrics and the music too. Really awesome stuff.
Yeah.
Really wish I could have seen them when they had Jack and Pat, because they were my favorite two guitarists that they had. But yeah, really great album. Gore Obsessed is awesome. Yeah, I never get tired of this album. I've listened to it ad nauseum. Really cool cover too, as always. They always have awesome artwork. Oh yeah,
Loved it.
yeah, really heavy stuff. Yeah, really gory, graphic, gruesome lyrics as always. Really brutal stuff. That's awesome.
Hell yeah.
They did play Pit of Zombies when I saw them.
Oh really, man?
Yeah.
I want to see them so bad.
No, it's awesome.
Yeah, no doubt. Looks like this is a bonus track. No Remorse. Is that a Metallica cover?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Oh yeah, I think I've listened to that before actually. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Some songs don't work with death metal, but I think that one was pretty cool.
No, they did a good job with it.
Yeah, from what I remember. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Because I just spun this record not that long ago. Yeah, it's good stuff.
So my next pick would be what I feel is the most brutal Cannibal Corpse album, that is Tomb of the Mutilated. Especially with the song titles. Oh my god. Can't say half of them. But it's beyond brutal, like holy shit. And yeah, I think Chris Brown vocals are at the most gutturable and indecipherable. You can't really understand anything he's saying. Obviously, you got Hammer Smash Face as an all-time classic. You know,
that's probably the biggest hit.
Yeah, a lot of great songs though. Beyond the Cemetery, Addicted to Vaginal Skin. Yeah, awesome album.
Yeah. Classic.
There's this part in Beyond the Cemetery that I love when you hear his vocals like coming from different sides of the speaker. He's like,
oh yeah,
oh, like that's awesome.
When you wear headphones, it alternates. Yeah,
Yeah.
Really cool.
It's a
really
cool effect.
Yeah, it's probably their sickest album, I would say. But it's killer.
It was
yeah.
Point in his vocals where he could have been saying "I like cheeseburgers," but it just sounds like.
You could have been singing about unicorns and rainbows, and you never know it.
Next up for me is Butchered at Birth.
Nice.
This album, though the follow-up to the first, definitely heavier. Definitely the vocals are much more. Some of the favorite songs I love: Covered with Sores and Meat Hook Sodomy, Gut,
Yes.
Vomit the Soul, which had Glenn Benton on vocals with him. Was
From
Right.
Deicide. That's
like
right.
I loved how they kind of bounced off each other, where Barnes is more, Benton was more, yeah. So it just worked really cool. But yeah, also love the album covers as well. Their album covers were always top tier. Yeah, Butchered at Birth, killer album.
So we
Yeah,
could put
David
that
did.
on the list. So
Yeah, David Dead 2 sucks. Yeah, it was awful. I couldn't finish it. All right, so my number 2 choice is going to be Eaten Back to Life. Yeah, this is the
Nice.
first. I remember seeing this all the time in the record store years and years and years ago. And I listened to it like they had the little headphones back then where you could like listen to samples, like previews of the songs. And I was like, I'm not ready for this yet. But I think like a year or two went by. Then I finally get to listen to Bought It. And this is the album that got me into death metal and of course got me into Cannibal Corpse. It's their first and one of their best. It's very raw, very thrashy, like horror fans said. Very like early death metal sound. Yeah. Awesome. cool songs like Shredded Humans, which kind of reminds me of the beginning, the car pile up at the beginning of Final Destination 2. It'd be cool if somebody made a music video with footage from that movie while Shredded Humans is playing. I think it'd be cool. Yeah, Edible Autopsy, Put Them to Death, Mangled, Scattered Remains, Spattered Brains, Born in a Casket, Skull Full of Maggots, Buried in the Backyard. Yeah, lots of great songs. This album's just killer. I love it. Yeah.
Nice.
What got me into death metal. Eating Back to Life. Oh, yeah.
Classic.
Sure. My number 2 is actually going to be The Bleeding. Yeah, so the 4th album, the final album with Barnes, I thought was a great album.
Yeah.
Like you said, you can understand his vocals more, but it's still brutal as hell. And
absolutely,
just a lot of great songs. She Was Asking For It, Effed with a Knife, Rape and Strangle, those are classics, man. Pickaxe Murders, I absolutely love.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's brutal. It's an awesome album. It's a shame that that there was so much drama going on behind the scenes, but you would never know it because it's such a good album,
Yeah. Damn good pick.
See you later, Brody. Thanks for joining us. Have a good night.
Next up for me will be Tomb of the Mutilated.
Yes.
Nice. Absolutely iconic. Definitely probably their most popular album because of Hammer Smash Face and I Blank Blood. Yeah, just looking at most of the songs, just kind of being like, yeah, maybe I shouldn't say that one. But, Split Wide Open, The Cryptic Stench, Beyond the Cemetery, and come on, Smash Face. I may have heard that song so many times, but I never get tired of it.
Me neither.
Me neither. I still enjoy it. I still rock out to that.
Just awesome. How can you get tired of it?
Yeah.
I like when they do that, I See Blood live, and it's like, this is a song about shooting blah blah from you.
Yeah.
I saw a live video one of him saying that, and the security guard up front was like, "Oh, he knows how to introduce a song."
Yeah.
All right, so before I unveil my number 1 choice, here are a few audible mentions. Butchered at Birth, their second album, and this is the only Cannibal Corpse CD I have that's an original. As you can see, that's the original logo that was drawn by Barnes, which they they don't use anymore. I like that logo better.
Yeah.
This is an original. It's not a reissue. So all the other Barnes era CDs I have are the reissues with the new logo. But anyway, it's a good album. I think maybe Covered with Sores is my favorite song. Meat Hook Sodomy and Gutted are really good too. And Vomit the Soul with Glenn Benton from Deicide is really cool. In the title track. Yeah, good album. Also Gallery of Suicide, which I don't own. Violence Unimagined, which is one of their newer ones. Red Before Black. Skeletal Domain, I think it's called. It's pretty good. Kill is really good. This almost made my list. I thought this was a really good one. Make Them Suffer, Murder Worship, Death Walking Terror. Lots of great songs on this one. The only thing is the album art is really boring. It's just Kill and big letters. It's like, come on. You like to get this awesome Vincent Locke to draw their album covers, and he's really, really good. Really good artist. Then Torture, which went back to their really brutal covers. His Evisceration Play was kind of a boring cover too. But this one's awesome, especially when you take out take off the slip cover. It's really, really cool. That's my number one favorite Cannibal Corpse album. I think it's going to have to be Tomb of the Mutilated. Yeah, I've already established it has Hammer Smash Face, which is their biggest hit, probably their most famous song, and still their best. I'm glad they still play that live. As for the other songs, I probably shouldn't say them out loud here because they're very, very graphic. Chris Barnes was in the band. He had kind of a really nasty, like sexual, nature to his lyrics, which made it even more gross. Rape and necrophilia and stuff. So it was much more sick when he was writing the lyrics. So don't get me wrong, Alex and Paul are pretty twisted guys too, but Chris Barnes' lyrics were just on a whole other level of extreme, graphic, and brutal. I probably shouldn't say the rest of the song titles, but there's a lot of really good ones. Really, really good album. One of my favorites. It blew me away when I first heard it. I was like, yeah, it's awesome. Awesome record. Probably my favorite.
Great pick. Hell yeah.
Awesome.
Oh, Jen's reviews from the graves in the chat.
Hey, Jen. How you doing?
Good to see you. Thanks for coming. Yes, I agree. The original logo was the best.
Yeah. So my number one is going to be Butchered at Birth. I absolutely love that album. I feel like it was a real big step up from the first one, even though I do really like the first one. It was raw and, like you said, thrashy. And
Butchered's probably a lot heavier.
Chris Barnes is starting to introduce the guttural vocals, but not quite as. I feel like he really stepped it up on the second album, big time.
Yeah,
his vocals are brutal on this one. Awesome songs like Gutted, Rancid Amputation, Vomit the Soul, as you mentioned, Under the Rotted Flesh, Living Dissection, awesome song. Great production on this one too, I think.
Definitely.
Yeah, I love Alex Webster's bass is awesome on this one too. Like you can really hear it.
He's a phenomenal bass player. Yeah,
he really is. And yes, the whole band just kills it on this one.
Yeah, it's a lot heavier and more brutal than the debut album, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chris definitely goes more guttural with his vocals.
Oh, yeah.
Agreed.
And the sickest album cover.
By far. Yeah, it's definitely the most graphic. Oh, my God.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Cats or dogs? I like both. I've got 5 cats and 1 dog. I like both of them.
I've always been a cat person. I
think I am too for the most part. I think cats are I think cats are a little cooler and like they're kind of more interesting. And cats are very metal too. I think cats are very, very metal.
Cats are metal.
But I think dogs can make better companions most of the time. It just depends. Yeah, I think cats are cooler. I think I've always considered myself more of a cat person, but dogs are
a lot easier to take care of a cat.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. They're kind of more independent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But dogs are fun too.
Yeah. So number one for me is The Bleeding.
Nice.
I love this album. Just staring through the eyes of the dead. That so good.
Awesome.
Pulverized, Return to Flesh, the Pixac Murders. She was asking for it. The title track, force-fed glass. Great production. Love the vocals. Love the riffs. Like I said, in general, a lot of these albums could be my number one on given days, but I just always Bleeding. So, The Bleeding, very wholesome album.
That was my grandma's favorite Cannibal Corpse album too.
Your grandmother's.
No, she'd probably have a heart attack if she even saw some of these album covers. She would not have approved, I don't think.
I think overall this was a very successful show. I enjoyed the answers. We had
a lot of fun.
Indeed.
All of our number one picks for best Cannibal Corpse album were a Chris Barnes era album, I noticed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess I tend to lean towards Barnes. I'm not going to be on. I'll be honest.
I kind of lean more towards the Barnes era because I think they had more creative riffs back then, maybe. But I still prefer George Fisher's vocals like by a hair, just ever so slightly, just because I think he has a little more control and a little more range. But Barnes was definitely awesome on this first four, for sure.
Yeah. I still love a lot of the Corpse Grinder era stuff, though.
Absolutely. Yeah, Hellhammer and Celtic Frost. Those are Thomas Gabriel Warrior Fisher's bands. I don't know a whole lot about Hellhammer. I have one of their albums. I like them. It sounds good. And then Celtic Frost, I think the other releases I have are Morbid Tales and Two Megatherion. Rest in peace, Martin Eric A. Yeah, Celtic Frost is great, but I don't know if I could do like an album by album analysis. I don't know that much about it. I just know that they're awesome. I don't really care for Cold Lake, but most of their albums are awesome. Vanity Nemesis and Monotheist and all that. Yeah, Celtic Frost is great, but
Hellhammer was very evil sounding. That's for sure.
Yeah, and of course that's also the name of the Mayhem drummer. So his name's Hellhammer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can agree with that, Daniel. Barnes era was better, but Chris Grimes is a better vocalist. That's kind of how I look at it too. I really like them both. I'm glad that they had both of them.
Yeah.
Getting Fisher was the right choice because Barnes' vocals started to decline after a while.
It's interesting to just hear the different sounds and the different eras,
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Hey, guys, any closing? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he does that all the time now. Those Graveyard Classics albums where he does all the covers are awful. Oh, so bad. So bad. But I still respect Chris. He was a pioneer for
definitely
death metal. Hey guys, any closing thoughts before we wrap it up? I think this is a really fun, enjoyable episode.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that whole AC/DC cover album was awful. Yeah, I would definitely have to.
Yeah, that's embarrassing.
I would definitely have to have a few drinks to be able to listen to that.
Yeah, but yeah, this was a hell of a lot of fun. Thank you to everyone in the chat who participated and talked. So, yeah, can't wait for the next one.
I agree. Absolutely. Thanks everybody for joining us on the Morbid Hour live stream. The Horror Metal Channel.
Yeah. Have a great night, everybody.
You too.
You too.
See you next time.
Peace.
Later. Peace.